So I've been really thinking through if AI does what a lot of people think it's going to do, what I think it's going to do, and it replaces a substantial amount of the workforce, then where is that workforce going to go? So let me just explain the reasoning. So right now, the way I see a lot of this happening is AI is going to fast track like 95% efficiency across all services. Think about doctors right now. There was a lady on the plane that I was flying up that's pregnant. And so when you're pregnant, you get these checkups, you go to the doctor, and there's a lot of complexities that are going on. But what is she doing? When she gets her blood work done, what does she do? She puts all the data into ChatGPT along with all of her blood work and all of her past information, and she has ChatGPT give her a complete fucking list of what she needs to do. And she brought that to the doctor, and the doctor said, that looks incredible. So what does this mean? We're already almost at the point where we don't need doctors. We need surgeons. We need people, the nurses, to do the test, but we're not needing someone to relay the information. We're not going to need lawyers. We're not going to need someone to file your taxes. You're not going to need 90% of online services or marketing or all of these online departments, because AI is going to make it efficient instantly. And especially in the US right now, what percentage of jobs or office jobs are these types of services? It's a substantial part of the US economy is service-based businesses, or online service-based businesses, or information-based businesses. Any of those are completely done for. Not now, but that's the trend that we're going to. So the question is, where are these jobs going to go? And so for that, you got to think through what is necessary for AI. Why is it when you log on to ChatGPT and you have a 10-minute conversation with it, the next time you log in, it forgets a lot of that information and it can't track all of it? Or why is it when you're creating your own GPT, we are limited by the amount of computing power and the amount of data that we can put into it? It's because you need a ton of energy to make these computers work. I mean, a ridiculous amount. And so if you don't know, energy runs the economy. Every single thing that you consume is reliant upon energy. All the food that you get is reliant upon oil and diesel to get the crops out of the ground, to transport the crops to you, to build the buildings that your food is bought in, to drive to the store to get the food. I mean, if you take it to the base layer, our entire economy relies on energy. AI is no different, and it requires so much energy to run these things. So what are we going to need if we have an entire world that is dependent upon AI? We are going to need an incredible amount of condensed energy to run all of these computers. And so what's probably going to happen is we have a few options. We can either start to produce a ton more of the energies that we currently create, like oil, diesel, gas, uranium, natural gas, solar, all of these things, which everyone says if we produce more, it's bad for the environment. We have never in the history of humankind not used more and more energy every single year, and we are going to continue to do that. I can guarantee it. Or if not, we are going to go back to the Stone Ages, because every single thing that we touch today is reliant upon energy to get there. And so what we're going to need to do if let's say the AI is definitely the future, so what are these companies going to do? They are going to need to find a solution to the energy. And they are either going to need to find a way to condense a substantial amount of more energy into less space, or use more and more of the current energy that we have available. So I think a lot of the jobs are going to go to the energy sector. And so I think about this in terms of, where do I want my portfolio? I run a marketing company that is online, that I am implementing with a 95% AI. It's making me hyper more efficient, and which is allowing me to probably take on substantial amounts of more clients more cost effectively. So you want to make sure that you are passing these efficiencies onto your current clients, making it more productive for your clients, and reducing cost. If you're reducing cost for your clients, they will never fire you, because they will trust that you are always working in their best interest. So that is one thing where I'm also working with older business owners that use zero AI, and I'm doing this for all of their organic media. But I'm thinking in terms of my entire life, because 5 years from now, you still probably won't need me. Genuinely. Even though you need a specialist to train the AIs, to read the AI, to implement all of it, you need a specialist right now. you probably are not going to need one 5 years from now. So there's a high chance that my job is done for. And so where do I want to invest? What types of things? I mean, oil definitely seems pretty interesting because I know it's a fundamental fact that we are always going to continue to need more energy. People are always going to need a house to live in. But then the question arises, okay, well, Josh, if I know a lot of businesses and all of them are reducing employees because AI makes their jobs more effective. And so what it took 10 people to do before, it takes one person to do now. And that one person does it better than the 10 people. So there's already been a lot of layoffs globally just in the companies that I know. And these are companies that have thousands and thousands of employees, and they are cutting 30+% of their workforce. So what is that going to do? Those employees no longer have jobs. So they are not going to be going to the rest of the economy. They're not going to be going to restaurants. They're not going to be going shopping. They're not going to be buying all of these discretionary goods. So that's going to slow down the other parts of the economy that have already been slowing down due to macroeconomic factors for the past few years. And so what does that do? That lays off more jobs while AI continues to get more effective, which lays off more of these jobs. So it has this fucking massive chain reaction. And hundreds of years ago, the entire US economy was farming. And then over a 100-year process that changed to manufacturing. Then over a 50-year process that changed from all the US being manufacturing to move into offices and services like we have now. And more of a specialized economy. But each one takes less and less time. It took 100 years for farmers to take over. It takes 50 years for manufacturers to move to office, and it's probably going to take 10 years or less for AI to take specialized service-based businesses, because that's really what it's taking. Information specialization is no longer necessary. So it means all these college jobs that are information-based are fucking done for. They're going to be non-necessary. So where the fuck are they going to go? And I don't know. I was just talking about this with a mentor of mine. We were talking for about an hour, and we have no fucking conclusion. And I don't know. I mean, long term, AI is going to be hyper beneficial for the entire world. It absolutely is. All new technology is beneficial because it is producing more goods and services. And this is going to allow us to produce 100 times more services at 0 to a fraction of the cost, which is very good for humanity. The problem is there is going to be a lot of short-term pain and disruption, because let's say there's no more need for your doctor to read your stuff and tell you what you have, and you can do that with AI, which I know a lot of people doing. I'm going to file my taxes this year and get all my write-offs using AI. I filed for an extension, and I already know that I could plug in every single receipt on my bank statements into AI and have it organize it by category instantly. Within 10 minutes, I'll have my entire taxes done, which would have cost me thousands of dollars for an accountant. I can do in a split second now. So a lot of these jobs are just not necessary. So where do those people go if they lose their job? Is the government going to start to pay for people? And then what we have is an entire society that has zero purpose, where everyone's just getting paid by the government. That's what a lot of people say. But human wants are forever. They are endless. Humans are always going to want more. So what do I think is going to happen? I know that I'm not fucking smart enough to be the next, or at least not yet, to be the next innovator into what the next wants for society are. But if you asked any adult 30 years ago if they wanted something like an iPhone, no one would even be able to comprehend it. Now, every single person in the world walks with their heads down on their iPhone. And so other humans create solutions to problems. That is the beautifulness of capitalism and the billions of people on Earth. People find solutions to complex problems. And so there will be something. Maybe we start to explore the seas because we know very little about sea life and very little about the space. We might be able to do substantially more amounts of progress and elevate society to a degree that we couldn't even fathom. And I don't fucking know what's going to happen, but I just know the world we live in today is changing. And a lot of these services are just done for. And if you are not aware of that, I mean, we're still going to need dentists. So my mom, you're good. My mom is a dental hygienist. So she cleans teeth. You're still, a robot can't clean your teeth. A robot can do your taxes and can read a lot of things for you. So we'll need surgeons. We'll need people that do physical things. But I just don't fucking know. And I don't know. This terrifies me. And what it makes me do is I want to work every second of every single day to master this stuff so I can implement it into my business and just dominate the space. Because with everything, there are trade-offs. And so while I'm scared of where this takes us, this is also the biggest opportunity in the entire world because most businesses are actually doing nothing. 95% of businesses right now are doing nothing about this, which means you can take over, literally take over. And this always happens where the young innovate and start to take over a lot of the market share of a lot of these older, more pristine companies when new technology arises. And the new companies adapt and they innovate and they do better, and the old companies don't. So I want to take up as much market share in my space as much as humanly possible and fucking crush it. And that's what we're going to do. We are going to continue to absolutely crush it. But these are the things that I think about on a long-term time horizon and why it's so important to make a lot of money now and start to move that capital into sectors that are going to do well from this revolution. People are still going to need a house to live in. I mean, we could see a scenario where if a lot of people lose their jobs in a short amount of time, the housing market gets obliterated and a lot of these apartments get obliterated because we'll probably just see like something in Europe where you have a lot of families under one house. And in China right now, they have tons of overbuilt buildings because their economy really went downhill. Their population stopped growing and they had to fucking move in back with their families because they didn't have money. So they have a tons of empty apartments. But we're gonna need oil. These are just one of the fucking small things that I'm just thinking and compartmentalizing. I couldn't even imagine being in a situation where I was just trying to bury my head in the sand and say, this is just gonna pass. Because if you have not played around with it, you have no fucking clue what I'm talking about. So I'm getting ready for dinner right now and gonna go to a nice steakhouse. And I don't know, just freaking, I mean, I'm not gonna just sit and be scared for the rest of my life. Even though this stuff terrifies me, I'm gonna fucking be an entrepreneur and figure it out. And that's what you do. That is literally the name of the game. And the only option is to embrace change. And those who don't are fucked. So don't be that person, right? Just don't do that and you're gonna be perfectly fine.